The Boston Celtics are Bill Russell days away from finally getting the regular season underway. Thank God we are finally in single digits. I've enjoyed the preseason, but I know I am excited for the regular season. What about you guys? Like this video if you guys are so excited for the Boston Celtics to finally start the 2023-24 NBA season, because if anything, it's like the preseason games, and I know the Boston Celtics are going to be winning a lot of them. Yo, Celtics fans, what is going on? I am your host of Celtics Today by Chat Sports, Allie Barefoot. Producer Smitty is right here to my left. And on today's show, we're going to talk about a few topics. Of course, number one being Al Horford, six-man, question mark? I know everybody's talked about potentially Peyton Pritchard getting that award, but why not Big Al? We're also going to break down Tatum's post-game that is now elevating. We saw it against the Knicks a few nights ago in the preseason. Smitty and I want to break it down as how influential this could be for Tatum and his career. And Kristaps unlocks the offense. We've seen it. We're excited for it. We're breaking down how Kristaps Porzingis finally seems like that missing piece the Boston Celtics have needed. So like I said, Al Horford being the sixth man of the year, possibly. He did not start against the New York Knicks during this preseason game earlier this week. And we knew this was going to happen. We knew Joe Mazzulla has a few lineups to work with. So Derrick White and Jrue Holiday started. They went with a smaller backcourt, not so much a bigger front court. But then that asked the question, Smitty and I asked ourselves the question of, could that mean Big Al could possibly be contending for the sixth man? Well, when you look at his stats versus the New York Knicks when he came off the bench, he had 8 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 for 4 from three-point line. Not great on paper, honestly, but he came in, he was aggressive. He's a fresh pair of legs, despite being the oldest player on the Celtics. So yes, I think he is a selfless teammate, and he prioritizes winning, which I think is exactly what you want for somebody coming off the bench. We know that Al Horford has started in the past, especially when Robert Williams was out, so we know he can play both roles. But I really kind of liked Big Al coming off the bench, in my opinion. You guys know I've been a fan of the smaller backcourt. Smitty's been a fan of the bigger front court. But overall, Joe Mazzulla makes the final decisions. And here's what he had to say about Al Horford. He said, "I thought he did a great job. I think Al Horford is the kind of guy where it really doesn't matter what he does. He's going to be ready to play. He's going to do what's best for the team." I completely agree with Joe Mazzulla. It goes back to the fact that he's a very selfless teammate. But did you know Al Horford has played 250 regular games for the Boston Celtics and has started all 250 of them. I did not know this. Smitty actually found this stat, and this blew my mind. When you think of Al Horford, you think of him as a role player because they've got Jaylen Brown and Jayson Tatum, but Al Horford has done a ton for the Boston Celtics, and he could definitely be in the starting lineup and potentially be used off the bench if he's not going to be starting and kind of work his way to a possible six-man of the year. But what do you guys say? You guys know I'm a smaller backcourt. Smitty is a bigger front court. Who would you start? Type AL for Big Al. Type DW for Derrick White. We got to see both lineups in both of the Knicks preseason games, I believe. So now that you've gotten a little bit of taste of what it could look like in the regular season, drop your comments below. Now, the real question is, could he actually win sixth man of the year? Of course, there are some logistics that go into this, whether or not his stats are going to be up there enough, whether or not Mazzulla is going to use him in different areas of the court. But when you look at the past 5 players that have won the sixth man of the year, Malcolm Brogdon, Tyler Hero, Jordan Clarkson, Harold Williams, looking at their points, 14, 20, 18, and so on, I'm not sure Al Horford is going to get up there in points. He could definitely get up there in rebounds. If not, he can do more. I would actually want to see him do more because I know Jayson Tatum is kind of our leading rebounder at this point. But I don't know about points, how much he can get up there, because given the talent and offensive output of this roster, Al Horford probably won't be able to fill in the stat sheet like the past six man of the year winners. Like we said, when he gets out there, he's kind of a role player in the sense that he dives for balls out of bounds in the preseason. He wants to win regardless. If that means he scores 2 to 6 points a night, then that's what he's going to do. If that means he gets double digits rebound. But also, Horford may be starting too many games this year. Like we said, Mazzulla is going to have a number of rosters to work with, a number of lineups to work with from this roster. So he may end up liking the bigger front court more and starting Mazzulla more, because we did type down that if he comes off the bench more times than he starts, then he's not going to be eligible for the Sixth Man of the Year. So Peyton Pritchard could still be in the running for that award. However, do you think Al Horford could be the Sixth Man of the Year? Type Y for yes, type N for no. I'm going to go with no, just because I don't think his points are going to be there in the end, and I do think Joe Mazzulla may start him more often than not to give Porzingis that time to rest. So overall, I am going to go with no, but let me know how you guys feel. Type it in the comments. And we told you guys we're going to be talking about Tatum's post-game, how it's been elevating, how it's been working through this preseason. But first, I have to tell you guys about Prize Picks. Yes, my favorite daily fantasy sports app. It's super easy to use. If you're asking, how does Prize Picks work? Well, I'll tell you. All you have to do is pick between 2 to 6 players, their projected stats. All you do is pick more or less. That's it. It is simple and easy and takes less than 60 seconds. You don't even have to pick out the stats. Prize Picks already does it for you. I went on ahead and picked some for the NFL Thursday night game slate, because you can do this for a number of sports. I did have Derek Carr throwing less than 238.5 passing yards. Trevor Lawrence, I went with the more. And Alvin Kamara, I went with more than 49.5 rushing yards. These are my picks for Thursday night football. I'll let you guys know how I'll do. But if you like these picks, duplicate them. If you don't, make your own. All you have to do is go to prizepicks.com/CLNS. Use promo code CLNS, and you can win up to 25 times your money on any entry. Plus, use that promo code CLNS, and Chat Sports will match your first deposit up to $100. Now, like we said, Jayson Tatum is prioritizing the post. We saw it come out a lot in the second time that the Celtics did play the Knicks this preseason game. He was being destructive, but he was being aggressive as well. Because when you look at this picture right here, this is an actual play that was happening during the New York Knicks preseason game a few days ago. We really see Tatum down here being double-teamed by these two New York Knicks. And the fact that he sees DiVincenzo up here, I'm sorry, I'm trying to figure this out. DiVincenzo up here trying to lack off a little bit. He passes to Jaylen Brown in the corner for a 3. Tatum is optimizing whether he's going to score or assist, but when he drives down to get into that paint, it's going to be one of those things. He is really trying to elevate this game right now, because then the play next, what was this, play after, the next trip down, he does the exact same thing, but this time it's bully ball. This time he literally puts his ass to the defender, and he backs him all the way up to the basket, because why? He gained 15 pounds of muscle in this offseason. He's no longer skinny body Tatum. He's ready to actually get down in the paint and make a difference, which is why I think he's going to go plus 30 points per game this season. This is why I think he's going to be on the MVP route, because he's elevating his post game. And we've seen this before. Surprise, surprise. When you see him do this time after time, he's building a name for himself. Yes, he's going to help the Celtics win, but ultimately, he's creating a legacy. We've seen Kobe do this, LeBron do this, Jordan do this. When you elevate your game in the post, you definitely bring your entire game up at least one more level. We've seen him shoot around the 3. We've seen him rebound on defense and on offense, but now being able to do that post play, using your body to actually back in and make that basket, that is going to put you on the map. So I have a question for you. Will Jayson Tatum win the NBA MVP? Spam MVP if you believe. I like that little rhyme there, Smetty. MVP if you believe. I think he's going to be the MVP. Go ahead and spam it down in the comments. And while you do that, let's talk about the Latvian player that is now in Boston. Kristaps Porzingis has definitely lived up to the hype. We've seen him play in 3 preseason games so far. He didn't end up playing against the Knicks the first time around. Porzingis is that piece the Celtics have been missing. It is evident. I think Jrue Holiday is still kind of getting his swing of things in a green jersey, which is totally fine. He just got to the team about a week or 2 ago, but Porzingis has been there all summer, and it's evident he fits in very well here. I'm not the only one that thinks that. Joe Mazzulla said about Porzingis' role, Mazzulla said the ball will seem to find KP a lot just because of his skill set and what he's able to do and create 2-on-1s and closeouts. Getting him in those side and pick and roll situations with those angles is kind of the trigger for our offense right now. I completely agree with Joe Mazzulla here. I've truly loved watching Kristaps Porzingis just ultimately spread out the offense as a whole, I honestly think one of my favorite things that has happened in 2 preseason games that I've seen so far, Kristaps Porzingis has started the scoring. He has scored a 3 against the Knicks the first game. He scored a 3 against the Knicks in the second game to start the game. And it was from the same position, from the corner. The fact that he's even able just to take that pressure off Jaylen Brown and Jayson Tatum immediately from tip-off is what I'm excited about. He knows how to spread out the offense to all positions and even contest shots down in the paint. Because when you look at his stats through 3 preseason games that he has played so far, Kristaps Porzingis has averaged 16 points per game, 6 rebounds. He's shooting 60 from the field, which is incredible, and even better, 61 from the three-point line. He knows how to shoot lights out. I have truly enjoyed him. I have gotten more excited saying KP for 3 than any other player right now. If Porzingis can elevate those numbers with a higher minutes load, there's no doubt he'll make an all-star game this season. I especially want to see those rebound numbers get up just a little bit more, just to even take more weight off Jayson Tatum's shoulder. But ultimately, I'll take what I can get from Porzingis, because I think the game plan here is that Kristaps will generate post-up opportunities, but being the safety valve on the perimeter will do wonders for ball handlers in a pinch. The fact that defenders now have to worry about Jrue Holiday, Derrick White, Jaylen Brown, Jayson Tatum, and Kristaps, so many ball handlers on this team, is going to prove they're going to be a threat on defense for sure. These opponents are going to have a hard time adjusting to a 7'3" guy who has handles. Do you think Kristaps Porzingis will be an all-star this season? Type AS for all-star, type M for miss. I think he's an all-star for sure. I think with the weapons he has around him, the weapons he didn't have in Washington the previous season, because he did do very well in Washington last year, I think these weapons are going to help him elevate his game and vice versa. If you guys enjoyed the show today, please like this video, subscribe, do everything you can to help support us, because Smitty and I will be here nonstop, preseason, regular season, postgame, bringing you everything about the Boston Celtics.